What is up, Barcelona fans and football fans? I'm back again, and this is gonna be a little short video just talking about the last games of the group stage. I know the round of 16 has started as well, but I just want to make a video on this. I didn't get the time to do it early, a few days ago, so I'm gonna do that quickly now. Just go through this last final things and see who ended up where in the group stages. So first off, we have Group A, which was won by Italy, of course. Italy definitely has been very strong and solid so far in this in this tournament, and they've pretty much got through all the games with a win, dominant win as well, dominant wins mostly, and their final game was a bit wonkier on the side because Wales is still a strong team, and Wales did, even though a loss for Wales wouldn't really do much, wouldn't really change much for them. They were still pretty much secured to go through. It still didn't matter much, but still they put up a decent fight there, and Italy in the end did win the game 1-0, but it was a closer game than the Italy's lost other two. So that was that. Wales still got the second place deservedly in that group, and they moved on. And also in the end, Switzerland also got a big win against Turkey, which once again were disappointing. They did score one. They got to score one towards the end, but Turkey in this tournament didn't really bring much at all. They weren't up for it this time around. They didn't win any of their games. It was all three games were losses. So, and they conceded around like 7 to 8 goals or so. So it definitely wasn't their ideal tournament this time around. But anyways, the rest of them, they're all true in that group. All three of the first in that group were true, and yeah, all of them deservedly got through as well. Then in Group B, we have Belgium, who finished first. Then there was a little bit of a big turnaround then for Denmark, who finished second. In the last game, they faced off against Russia and really put up a dominant display and won that game 4-1. Really well done by the Danes. They really got through and turned this tournament around for themselves, and that's what they needed to be done. That's what needed to be done. That's what they needed to do to really get the chance to go through, of course. On the other hand, Finland weren't so lucky. You know, as everyone expected, they lost their final game against Belgium, and that was kind of half of the nail in the coffin for them. They really couldn't do much more than that after Denmark's win as well. So they were pretty much out. They were out of the tournament along with Russia in the end, because there were other other teams that finished in other groups that finished further, had better points, more points. You know, have 4 points. You know, like Sweden, like Portugal and others like that. And that's why, and also another one like in Ukraine, who had a better goal difference. So they were not selected to go through. They were not one of the 4 best third placed. So they're also out along with Russia. They're at tournament ends, and pretty well sad there. They still had a decent run in that group. They got 1 win against Denmark though, even though, yeah, well, that game had a lot of things happening, but they got 1 win there. But the other 2 games they did lose, so it wasn't really enough for Finland. And then we have Group C, which is the won by Netherlands, who went on later to disappoint in the round of 16, but we'll get to that in the next video. But in the group stage, they did deservingly win. They got all their games won, all full 9 points, but though they were going a little up and down sometimes, especially the game against Ukraine in the beginning. But the Netherlands, at least in the final game against North Macedonia, they did win in a big display. They did win, I think it was 3-0 or so, which everybody expected them to. Nobody really expected North Macedonia to really do much in that game, though they did try a few times. But, you know, it wasn't to be really nobody for Pandev and his teammates really. So North Macedonia are out. They finished last, and also um, Austria got a pretty decent win against Ukraine, though Ukraine did cause them some trouble. Of course, the Ukraine is a real tricky team, and Sweden is facing them now next in the round of 16. But um, Austria still got that win, but it didn't really matter much for Ukraine because they did still go through. They still went through with because being one of the four best number three, like four of the best that finished in the third place in the group. So it's like they I think they went through on goal difference probably, I think, in some ways over Finland, as I said earlier, or something like that. But in this group, North Macedonia is the one who went out sadly, and also Netherlands, Austria, and Ukraine. They all went through. Group D, on the other hand, this was a little bit of a crazy one. Croatia, in the end, they managed to get themselves through by winning against Scotland in their final game. Though it was a little bit of a tricky thing to start off with, it wasn't all super easy for them, but they got through. And England won against the Czech Republic, of course. As most people expected them to, it was a goal by, I believe, Raheem Sterling. I think was again. I could be wrong, but I think it was. And they won. They went on to win the group with 2 wins and 1 draw, and Croatia finished second. And Czech Republic still made it through. Czech Republic still made it through to the next round. I will get to that in the next video because they did a surprising thing in the round of 16 as well. But we'll get to that in the next video. But Czech Republic here, they went through as one of the 4 best third placed. And Scotland, sadly, though with big, strong fight in them throughout the whole group stage, they sadly had to leave the tournament. Group B then, and this was this was an interesting one. Sweden, we won 3-2 against Poland, though it was definitely not one of the most dominant displays. Though yes, we went up 2-0 at first by 2 goals by Forsberg, but then Lewandowski, of course, who else went on to score 2 goals and made us sweat a little bit, because Sweden will still be going through to the next round, but we'll be going through in 3rd place if we lost this game, and that would mean that we will be facing a harder opponent later on. So this time around, though, in the end, Sweden turned around in the end and scored a 3-2 and won that game. It was the end. I don't remember what the name of the one that scored right now. It's a midfielder, I believe so. But anyways, I think it was Clausen or something. I think I'm not entirely sure, but at least Sweden did turn this around, and thanks to that loss for Poland, they were out of the tournament. Really sad for them. They really did try. Lewandowski tried his best, but sadly he couldn't hold that in. But on the other hand, another game for Spain finally started going for them a little bit in the means of goal scoring. They finally started to score goal. Of course, the first 2 goals were, I believe, were offside goals, or one or two first goals were offside goals. But then they started scoring themselves as well, and they dominantly and deservingly won that game 5-0 against Slovakia. A Slovakia who still manages to at least impress in this tournament, even though they didn't go through, but they still did impress in a big way. They still showed the most of themselves up and didn't let down, at least, and yeah, you should give them props at least for that. They got a decent win in the first game against Poland, and they still did well, but thanks to the goal difference, conceding around 5 to 6 goals, they couldn't make it through. So both Slovakia and Poland are out, and Sweden win the group. And surprisingly, I did not expect us to win the group, but yeah, Sweden win the group, Spain going second, and the Sweden goes on to face Ukraine, Spain goes on to face Croatia. And that's how it is. And in the final group, this one was crazy. This one was absolutely crazy. I need to check because I have a little memory left. But Portugal actually and faced off France, and they ended in a 2-2 draw. This was absolutely crazy. We thought things were gonna. That one went back and forth with penalty goals and all that. Both Benzema and Ronaldo getting two each, getting 2 goals each in that one. It was a very tight game, and anything could really happen. But especially also in the other game, Germany and Hungary. Hungary, even though now they are eliminated, they put up a massive fight. Big props to them. Politics and other things aside, big props to that team because they went up 1-0 for at first against Germany, and then Germany came back and scored the equalizer. But then Hungary got back in again and scored another leading goal. But towards the end again, Germany came back and they did score a equalizer. I think it was Kimmich maybe or somebody like that. I don't remember exactly who it was who scored it, but they came back and they, of course, the Germans, they did get that draw, another also a 2-2, and that meant that France will be winning the group. Germany gets in second, Portugal gets in third as one of the 4 best third placed, and Hungary is sadly out. But big props to them though. They really did put up a massive fight there, and it was sweaty for the Germans, 100%. They just narrowly avoided absolute disaster once again. Yeah, because you remember in the last tournament in the World Cup that they went out last. They placed last in that group in the World Cup, and they got eliminated. It was very humiliating for them, and all the fans were absolutely fuming because of that. So this time they didn't want to repeat that again, so they nearly avoided that. So and they get rewarded with a pretty tricky game. Not 100%, but it's because anything can happen. They will face off against England, right? They'll face off against England. France, they face off against Switzerland, which is going on right now. That game is going on right now, so we'll see what happens there. But and so that side is the more easier side, but anything can happen in this tournament. You know, anything can happen, and as I've seen now in the round of 16 as well, definitely anything can happen. So there's some very close calls, and things can switch for each side. Like the momentum can switch in these tournaments just like that, you know, and you just go like that, and it just switches to the other team. So it's all really crazy. But that's pretty much it. That's the whole of the group stages. And a little good run through of the final games. I will make a round of 16 one as well later on. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little quick video. And if you did, leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. I would very pretty much appreciate that. And also press the notification bell to get notified when I post. And also don't forget to subscribe to my other main channel as well, Elmer Days, where I upload a lot of reaction videos and other stuff like that to music, to movie trailers and other stuff like that, and other YouTube videos and so. And there will be coming up and reaction videos soon on that channel as well later today. So keep an eye out for that if you go over there. So yeah. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.